Hello, welcome to my house and welcome to my channel. I'm Laura Cepeda and today I'm going to show you how you can make the single crochet either wearing your hook and using your finger as a hook. Remember that in these days I have started this new series that it's for beginners where I teach you the basic stitches if you want to learn how to crochet. I'm sure that these stitches will be very useful for your coming projects. You will need only a skein of yarn a medium size and a hook of number 4 and your finger, okay? Remember that in different countries the name of the single crochet are different, but today I'm going to show you the standard stitches. There are 4 different kinds of single crochet: the single crochet, then the rib stitch, and then the single crochet where we asleep, and the half double crochet. But don't worry, I will lead you step by step. Remember that if you want to buy and use the same materials that I use in all my videos, you can visit my online store www.lauracepeda.es. Well, I know that there are different names for this single crochet, especially in Spanish. We have a lot of nicknames to call this stitch. But I think that in English, the single crochet is the standard name. Remember that in the last course, I teach you how you can make the chains. I hope that you make your homework and that you make this exercise. Well, now that you know how to make the chains and how to take the hook, well, we are going to make a sample of 12 chains. To make the single crochets, we will always need a base chains or a base stitch to make it. So once we have this sample of 12 chains, well, we are going to continue with the simple and the standard way to make a single crochet. What we are making now with our hook, later today we are going to make it with our finger, okay? I hope that you also make the exercise and make the homework and you practice how to make the chains with your finger, okay? But this will be the first single crochet that I will teach you, okay? The standard single crochet and the simple single crochet. But once we have our base chains and our base stitch, we are going to make one chain more. This extra chain will be the edge of our project and also it will give the height of our stitch. Well, we are going to skip one chain and in the second chain we are going to insert our hook. I have seen that many of you and in many videos also that only some people take only the back part of the chain. As you could see, we have 2 parts of the chain, and well, it's okay also if you want to take this part, or if in this case you want to take like this, both parts, one below and one in the back. But if you only take this part, I feel that you open too much and you create a big hole. Instead, if you take these 2 parts, well, you are going to have a more tight stitch and it will look better as a base stitch. Well, once you have 2 loops, you are going to bring them through. Remember that it's very important that you face this head to you, and once you take the stitch, you place the hook towards the stitch. Also, it's very important that we see where we already insert our hook. It's very common that we insert the hook in the same stitch, but you have to see where you already crocheted. Well, remember that once you have these 2 loops together in your hook, you are going to bring them through. Again, insert your hook, taking both parts of the chain like this. As you could see, we already take these 2 stitches, and for example, remember that we made 12 chains as a base chains. Well, we are going to, and if we are going to make one single crochet in each chain, well, at the end we must have 12 single crochets. So also that's a very important step that you must have take into account, that at the end you must count how many single crochets you have and to see if you make one in each chain. So if not, you can correct where you make double, or in the other hand, if you skip one chain. But as you could see, with the help of your thumb, it will lead you where you have to go next, okay? This finger will indicate where you should insert your hook next, okay? Again, we are going to repeat. Remember that there are so many ways that you can take your hook like this or like this, as I teach you. Both ways are okay, okay? But the important thing is that you follow the stitch and you follow the steps, and you will have this the stitch that you want, okay? Well, this will be the last stitch, and again we are going to repeat. Okay, it's very important, as I told you, that don't forget to count how many single crochets you make, especially when you are starting. Also, it's important that you don't twist. That's a very important step that you must check every time that you make a new stitch. Let's count. 1, 2. Each one of these chains is one stitch. So at the end, as I told you, we have to have 12 because we made 12 chains as a base chains. So we must have the same number. Well, once that you are sure, now we can continue. We are going to turn, and you can start either making a chain or you can start right away. Both ways are okay. Remember that this will be the edge. But I feel that just making a single crochet right away in the next row, remember that this is the second row. If this were the first, well, we must start with one chain always, an extra chain. And remember that this is to make the standard single crochet. Okay, later on I will teach you how you can make other kinds of single crochet. For now, as you could see, we already identified where we have to insert our hook, and we are going to take both parts of the chain like this. Do not create any hole or not make a stitch wider, and you will see it will look better. So again, we already used this stitch, and this is where we are going to insert our hook next. You see, we are taking both parts of the chain. We are taking the stitch complete, and this is the standard and the basic single crochet. Later on, I will teach you another kind of a stitch where you are only going to take the below part. As you could see now how our edge looks. The edge must look straight always, okay? If not, it means that we are making something wrong there. But well, for now, let's finish this second row together of single crochet. And please also at the end of this second row, well, we are going to count our stitches again. So here at the end, we are also going to take both parts of the chain. You see? And it's important that we see exactly where we insert our hook. Once we are sure and once we count our stitches, well, we are going to continue. We are going to turn our project, and now we are going to start. We are going to start making one chain, or if you want to start right away, it will be okay. And as you could see, here our stitch by its own will lead us where we are going to insert our hook. And again, we are going to repeat. So now you are learning how to make this single crochet. Well, let's finish this row first, and then I will teach you the other kinds of single crochet. It's very important that you learn how to make this basic stitch if you want to start making any project. It's very common that we use this single crochet to make the beginning of a sweater, to make plastic, or to make a baby jacket, or if you need to make a more tight stitch, well, this stitch is perfect to begin. You will see that with the time you will find many other applications of this stitch. This is the basic stitch. As you could see, in other countries you can find this stitch as the short stitch because it is small, right? So, well, for now I'm going to teach you how you can make it in one plain color, but with the time you can use different colors, you can mix, you can create combinations, you can use different textures, different materials, and also making this stitch with your fingers, that in this video I will also teach you how. But well, using this part as a base chain for the next stitch that I'm going to teach you, we are going to start right away. Okay, we are going to make also one chain, and now I'm going to teach you how to make the rib stitch. The rib stitch is the single crochet, but only taking the back part of the chain like this. Again, we are going to repeat. As you see, we only take the back part of the chain. It is called rib stitch because, as you could see here, we are creating this split. And well, we are going to continue like this the whole row, and it is important that at the beginning and at the end of the row we are going to take both parts of the chain, but the rest we are only continue taking the back part like this. So this is called the rib stitch. It's important that you know that if you want to make the rib stitch, first we are going to make the base chains that we need according to the project that we are making this stitch for, and then we are going to make first a single crochet row as a base part, and then we can continue making the rib stitch, so we can have something like this. And because its shape and the way this stitch is made, this is considered other kind of elastic, so this will be a nice idea for the beginning of any project that you may have. As you could see, I took the first stitch taking both parts of the chain, and then the rest I will take only the back part of the chain, and we will continue having this split of the rib stitch. Also, in the last row I took the last stitch both parts of the chain. I didn't tell you because I was explaining other thing, but I think that you tell, right? But well, let's finish this row together. Remember, this is the rib stitch. Here we are going to take both parts of the chain because it's the last stitch. And now, as you see, we are creating this here a pleat, and also on the other side, and in the part below where we just made a single crochet, it looks plain. So well, so far you already know how to make two different kinds of single crochet: the single crochet and the rib stitch, that it's single crochet but only taking the back part of the chain, right? But well, I'm going to finish this row with you. This will be the last, and then I will teach you how we can make the other kind of single crochet. We are going to slip one. Okay, when we slip one stitch, it's other kind of single crochet. Well, for now you can see this is the rib stitch because we create a pleat, and if you make more rows with this same stitch, you will have a elastic. And this stitch will be the beginning of many of your projects, so you will see that later on you will use it a lot. Well, now I will teach you how you can make the other kind of single crochet. We are going to go up with one chain, then also at the beginning we are going to take both parts of the chain, and now with this same thread we are going to bring them through. You see? Insert, and with the same loop we are going to bring them through. Like this is how we are going to slip. Again, insert your hook, yarn over, and with this same thread we are going to bring them through both threads. As you see, we are creating this stitch as if it were part of the row. This is like the invisible stitch. When we want to go from one stitch to another, we can use this stitch to slip literally through the other part of your project if you want, but making in the invisible way. Again, we are going to go up with one chain, and we are going to at the beginning take both parts of the chain. And well, it's very common that we take both parts of the chain in this invisible stitch. Either if you take only the back part of the chain, or you take both parts of the chain, we are going to have the invisible stitch. And well, this stitch is very common to use when we have already started and a stitch that we want to go from one side to another, and if we want to start in the other side of our project, well, we can slip like this. Well, so far you already know how to make 3 different kinds of single crochet. Remember the basic single crochet that we made at the beginning, then the rib stitch, and now the slip stitch, where we basically slip one. So well, as you could see in the same sample, we have the single crochet, the rib stitch, and now we are slipping one. Oh well, now we are going to turn, we are going to go up with one chain. Now in this part I will teach you how you can make the half double crochet. It's a single crochet, but before we insert our hook we are going to turn over. You see, now we are going to insert our hook, and once we have these 3 loops together we are going to bring them through. Okay, again we are going to make one more together so you can see exactly how it is. As you see, I'm taking both parts of the chain, and once we have the 3 loops together, the 3 threads, we are going to bring them through. As you see, this single crochet looks taller in contrast with the other stitches that we made. You see, it looks taller. This stitch is very common to use also at the beginning if you don't want to make the single crochet, and if you want to go quickly and faster with your project. Well, you can use this stitch to make less rows and have more distance. So I think that this stitch, if you already know how to make the single crochet and you have practice, well, now you can continue with this half double crochet. That is the single crochet, but before we insert our hook we are going to turn over. So now you know how to make 4 different ways of the single crochet. Well, now the next step is that you practice these stitches that I have just teach you, that you make the exercise to use different hooks, different materials, and you will see how it looks, and then you will know how to use them according to the projects that you want to make. Now, and once that you have how to make the single crochet and all the kinds of the single crochet, well, in the next video I will teach you how you can make the double crochet, and then I will continue teaching you more stitches, but remember that these are the basic stitches. For now, continue practicing the chains, the single crochet, the half double crochet, how you slip, the rib stitch, and everything. Now let's make them with the fingers. Well, now we are going to learn how to make them with our fingers. It is important, if you are learning, that you use a more chunky material. In this case, I'm going to use 2 threads of the material that I was using, so it will be more chunky. But well, we are going to start making the chains. Remember that in the last video I teach you how you can make the chains and how you are going to take your yarn. Once that you know how to make them, well, we are going to make chains as a base chains to make the single crochet. Remember that it's important that you don't tie too much your chains, because when we came back we are going to insert our hook, our finger in the chain, so our finger has to perfectly fit in the stitch. So please try not to tie too much, and well, in this case as a base we are going to make 10 chains. Once we have 10 chains, we are going to make one more to start the single crochet, and we are going to insert our finger in the second chain. You will see we have 2 parts of the chain. Remember that it's important where we insert our finger, because if not it will be open or stitch and we will create a hole. We are not going to take this part, we are only going to insert our hook like this. So we are going to fix and open or stitch a little bit to see exactly where we have to insert our hook. Once we have these 2 parts these two threads, these two loops, we are going to bring them through. It's the same stitch and the same steps that we made in using your hook, but now using our finger. Remember that we are going to use our finger as it were our hook. So we are going to bring them through. We are going to use the help of our thumb to see exactly where we are going to insert, and also to pull. You see, we are going to bring the yarn over with the other hand to our finger like this. So we are working with all our fingers. We are using both hands to make this stitch possible. Again, we are all going to open to see where we are going to insert our finger. And again, having these two loops, we are going to bring them through. Again, insert your finger and bring them through. And again, if we made 10 base chains, well, we must have at the end 10 single crochets. And like we are using our finger as it were our hook, we have wider chains and wider single crochets. So this means that we can use this stitch for all the projects. Okay, we can use our finger for all the projects. For example, if you want to make a project that needs to use a tied stitch, well, you are going to use your hook. And for example, if you want to make a more open stitch, if you want to make a sweater or a blanket, well, you can use your fingers to make them. So well, remember that we are making the single crochet. We are learning how to make this single crochet with our fingers. And well, as I told you, it's very important that we always count how many stitches we have as a base chains and how many stitches we have when we end the row, because it's very common that we lost stitches or we make two stitches in one stitch. So it's very important that we count that we must have the same number that we made as a base chains. I'm going to come back a little bit because I want to review something with you. It's important that before we start, we must have our base chain straight, not twist. Because if we have a twist, we are going to insert our finger in the wrong places. So it's important that with the other hand, we lead exactly where we have to insert our finger. And like this, we will have the correct stitch, and at the end, our project will look good. Once that we check and once we are sure that we have the same number of stitches, well, now we are going to continue with the next row. In the next row, it's easier to continue because you will see that if you make it correct since the beginning, you will see exactly how you have to go next in the next row. First, we are going to make one chain to start, and now you will see exactly where you have to insert your hook, your finger, in the next row. So now it will be easier to make these single crochets. So I'm going to continue making more with you so you can see exactly how it is. As you see, I'm continue taking both parts of the chain. Well, you can either take the stitch like this passing through, or you can use the other hand to help you like this. Okay, but you will see that with the practice it will be easier. But it's amazing that you start learning how to crochet with your fingers. It's an amazing technique. You will see that you will develop many new skills. You will see that it's an amazing therapy. It's a control over your body. So you will see this will be an amazing skill, and you can also teach your kids in this way first how you can use their fingers, their hands, and creating something amazing. You can make as a first project, you can make a blanket using your fingers, and you will see that once you finish, it's an amazing reward. It's an amazing feeling that before you didn't know nothing about how to crochet, and once you start and once you see that you really can, well, you won't stop. It's an amazing feeling. But well, like we made the single crochet and we learned how to make other kinds of single crochets, well, you can make the same using your fingers too. Now I'm going to teach you how you can make the rib stitch. Remember that the rib stitch, it's only taking the back part of the chain, but we are going to start making one chain, and the first stitch we are going to take both parts of the chain, and then for the rest we are only going to take the back part of the chain, and also the last stitch we are going to take the back part of the chain to close the row. But so far this is the rib stitch. You see how it's looking. We are creating here a pleat, and this is also an excellent idea if you want to make the elastic of your project. Either you can continue using this stitch for the rest of your project. It don't necessarily need to be the beginning of your project. You can continue using this stitch for many other things. I have used this stitch for a neck, for a blanket, for a sweater, and you will see that it's easier and faster also if you make it this with your hook. And well, here we are also at the end of the row, and well, there are some rows that you can break. In this case, I told you that at the beginning and at the end of the row we are going to take the back part of the chains, both parts. But here, as you see, I only took the one part of the chain, and it looks good too. So I think that with the finger it is important to see how it looks, and with the hook it is important that we follow these rules, because we seem to open too much or stitch, and in the case of the fingers, well, the stitch looks more loose, so you won't tell anyway if you took both parts or only the back part of the chain. So well, as you see, we have already learned how to make two ways of the single crochet. We already know how to make the single crochet using the hook, using the fingers, and how to make the rib stitch using the fingers too. Okay, so now we are going to continue with the next stitches. Now let me finish this row first, and then we will continue. Well, so far we have created here two different stitches. As you see here, we made the rib stitch and we create some pleats. Well, now we are going to continue with the single crochet, but remember that this single crochet is invisible because we are going to slip one through our project if we want to go to one place to another. As you see, with the same yarn, with the same thread that we yarn over, we are going to take both threads. Again, I'm going to do it slowly so you can see how it is exactly. So as you see, we are making the same that we made with the hook. We are making the same with our finger because we are using our finger as it were the hook. As you see, either you can take both parts of the chain or only the back part of the chain, and it's okay both ways, and because this is the invisible stitch, so both ways are correct. Well, so now in this sample you will see that we have three different ways. We already know the single crochet, the rib stitch, and how we slip. And in the other row it will be the same. As you see, we go up with one chain and we slip. Now I'm going to take both parts of the chain so you can see exactly how it is, and you will see that both ways are correct and both ways look the same. Okay, so once I finish this row, I'm going to teach you how you can make the half double crochet. But well, for now let's finish this row together, and now let's practice a little bit. So now we can continue with the fourth and with the last single crochet that we will learn today. It is important that you teach your kids since early age how to crochet, because as I told you, it's an amazing therapy. Also, it's an amazing work, an amazing exercise for our brain. You will see that you will develop many skills. But well, now we are finishing, and now let's learn the last and the fourth way of the single crochet. Remember that the next and the last stitch that I'm going to teach you is the half double crochet. It's the single crochet, but before we insert our hook, we are going to turn over, okay? Like this. So once we have these two threads together, we are going to insert our hook and we are going to bring them through. So we have 3 loops and now we are going to bring them through. And again, turn over, insert your hook. Now you have 3 loops and now bring them through. Again, one more time, turn over, insert your I have told you hook, but now your finger, and bring them through. And like this is how you are going to make the half double crochet. As you see, is the same as you were using the hook, but now using our fingers. So now let's practice one more time. It is important that we take both parts of the chain in the hook, but in the fingers, when you are using your fingers, well, you can you can take either the back part or both parts. As we are making this stitch loose, it doesn't matter. You won't tell if you took both parts or only you took one. But we'll want to finish this row with you so you can see exactly, you can practice with me how it is. So far we already know how to make this same stitch using our hook, and now you are learning how to make it with the fingers. So now that you have this, that you have learned these basic stitches, well, please don't forget to make your homework, don't forget to practice, and later on in more videos I will teach you how you can make more stitches using both techniques, either using your hook or using your finger. Both ways are beautiful, and once you start you will see that you won't stop. So I encourage that you practice both ways, with the hook or with the fingers. Well, so what do you think? I hope that you have enjoyed making these stitches with me. I really enjoy spending some time with you. I will continue teaching you the basic stitches, and I want to invite more subscribers to learn how to crochet with me. Also, I want to teach you the basic steps of how you can use the needles too, but well, I will make more videos. Don't worry, for now, if you practice using your hook or your fingers these stitches, you will see that the coming stitches will be easier. But well, don't forget to subscribe to this video, don't forget to give me a like, and don't forget to leave me a comment. See you in the coming videos. Thank you so much. Bye.